Okay, this is Jeremy Rumley. We're on week 2 of the crowning and lapping of the barrel here. So you can see that we showed that was the rough. Now we're putting it into the vise, clamping it down both ends, making sure everything's level and square and easy to use, easily accessible, all that kind of stuff. Clean off the end of the barrel. Now we're on to the lapping compound, which is 220 grit, and we're using the brass lapper to kind of lap the interior of the barrel where the muzzle is. Pretty simple process here. We put it all together. I did notice that the lapping compound was moving extremely slow. And this part here, what I'm doing is mixing the lapping compound because you want to make sure everything's all good to go. Taking a small bit of it on my fingers and putting it on the lapping tool. Now, I personally would have liked to have done like the chamfer bit before doing this, but they never sent us one in the kit, so no big deal. Work with what we got. I just did a couple hundred extra steps to try to get it to go through there. So I've worked lapping the interior of this thing, just trying to get it smoothed out. The reason why I haven't sanded and buffed the outside of it yet is because the polishing compound sometimes can get caught on stuff and get nasty and get gross. And I actually find that the polishing compound or the lapping compound will help to kind of plug the muzzle up just a little bit, so that when I'm doing the filing and all those other things, it's all catching inside of the compound itself. So you see, we keep moving forward with it. We're on 5 or 6. Each time I'm stopping, the reason why I stop, we just go for like 5 to 10 seconds, and I'm putting more lapping compound on it just to make sure. Right there, I tried to go to like gear 2 to see if it would go a little bit faster, but that's not how that stuff works. So now we moved over to taking out the metal file, and I'm chamfering off the edges to kind of take that unfinished look off of them and work it around the whole thing. Relatively simple process. The hardest thing is keeping it even from point to point. Once again, using the chamfering tools would be better than using it by hand, but doing it by hand does have a little bit of satisfaction as far as knowing that you did it by hand. So, and I do like the hands-on kind of process to it. Now we've switched over here to the sandpaper. Now for sandpaper, I started off at 150, went to 250, and ended up with 400 grit. I used that to kind of dial in the edges of my chamfer and to take off the muzzle of the barrel, so there was the tooling marks that were left over. I wanted to make sure those are good, and here is the finished product. Turned out really nice, and I'm really happy with it. Take care.